Happy Easter, everybody! Good afternoon, YouTube subscribers. Apparently things are getting pretty intense. We've now got 20 subscribers. So, soon I'm going to be being called from some high-end people asking me to put out some new content and paying me with endless gifts. So, thank you for those 20 subscribers. Today's short session, I say short, I'm going to waffle a little bit, is for our year 12 and 13 students, focusing on section A, inspector calls for our component 3 written exam. Just going through a few things. So you need a couple of documents if you've got them with you. One is this wonderful study guide here. If you've purchased this, we're going to be looking at pages 158 and 159. If you haven't, don't worry. I'll scan these in and attach them to class charts later on. And then two, I've got it on my phone, but I'll give you a connection as well, is that I'm going to supply you with the 2019 exam paper, and I'm going to be going through a little bit about the examiner content and the chief examiner moderator's report from 2019. So just going back over some of those things that we did previously before we go on to think about how we're going to start to structure our response. So remembering, first of all, for section A, for our inspector calls, we're going to be given 2 questions and we're only going to choose one. It's a statement which is open-ended and the question paper is 45 minutes. So we just choose one question out of the 2, and in total it's 45 minutes in total in its response. So the one we're going to look at today is question 1. I've got it on my phone here and I'll ping this over to you so you've got it as well. The question says, analyse and evaluate the live performance that you have seen in light of the following statement. So the first thing it says is analyse and evaluate. So it might be a good idea now to pause and to go back into your notes and be thinking about what is the distinction or difference between analysis and evaluation from our notes before. Okay, so analyse and evaluate, and there needs to be a balanced response. So you can't be heavily analysis without limited evaluation. You can't have lots of personalised evaluation without any analysis. So it has to be a balanced response. So the statement says theatre in the 21st century is out of touch with its audience. So theatre in the 21st century is out of touch with its audience. And it says here the things you must consider. So you must include analysis and evaluation of key moments from the performance that you have seen and the contribution made by different theatre makers. So I'll go through that in a minute, what that means. And then obviously the second part, it says you need to offer a balanced consideration between analysis and evaluation within your response to the statement. So before you can even think about this question, before you can even start this question, your notes have to be so tight and smart to be able to use those notes to hit any question that comes up. Because the statement that is being given is about your own personal response, but it's also about the performance scene. So it's ensuring that you've got a variety of performance examples of all the different elements: costume, light, staging, set, acting style, vocal, physical movements that the actors use throughout the performance, and that you've got key clear moments. And I know when we met feels like a while ago now, 3 or so weeks ago, we looked at the 2 examples. One was we were looking at the beginning, and we looked at the young child at the start and all of the different elements that created. And then we also looked at the positioning of some of the actors, especially the inspector, and how he kind of starts to blockade some of the actors moving, etc. So, we started right at the start. But for you, the first thing you need to do is tidy up your notes. Make sure that each of those notes refer to a key example. Okay, and I'll try as well is find an online script so we can start using some of the page numbers of that to kind of really tighten our examples. But like I keep referring back over and over again, without having good detailed example notes, then you're going to struggle. So that's the first thing: is take all of your notes from the show and tidy them up. Right where I said, and I've lost my page now, so I might have to just bear with me for a second. Nope, he's lost his page. Go, Mr. Jones. No, I'll find it in a minute. Okay, I don't want to use my YouTube time to find the page number. But oh, nope, still lost it. Even though I said at the beginning. See what happens when you have a few weeks off. You must ensure that your notes are clear. That's all I'm going to say. So let's look at the thing that the examiner said when this question came up in 2019. Let's have a little look at what they stipulated, what they said. What were the things that were successful in the examiner's report? Okay, and again, I can ping this out to you so you've got it as well. So first thing it's saying is that you must ensure that you either agree or disagree with the statement. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be thinking about, with that statement in mind, do I agree or disagree with the statement in relation to the placing? So the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to talk about structure. When I talk about structure, I'm going to be talking about bookending. So the first thing I'm going to do in my structure is I'm going to outline, do I agree or disagree? I disagree with the statement, and this is why. My whole essay is going to be me showing you why I disagree. And the more you respond and refer to the statement, the higher marks, or the more consistent marks will be given to you. And it says here that the stronger candidates were passionate about their response. So this is about having a personalised response to the statement. It's not about just smoothing around the edges. It's about being passionate and about being personalised with your judgments. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, at the start of my process, I'm going to agree or I'm going to disagree with the statements. And it also says that the best responses broke down their theatrical experiences, allowing the examiner to visualise the production through their analysis. So that's ensuring that you are discussing a range of theatrical elements, not just one. So it indicates that you need to break them down. So don't just focus on one. Okay, so you might start off with my first example, which showcases how I agree with the statement, is through the use of costume. And then I'll have my analysis and evaluation, my supported examples. And then my second example, again, might be breaking down the use of lighting, for example. Okay, so it's all about just making sure that we've got a range of theatrical responses. And it stipulates really clearly in the exam handbook, and some of the things I keep saying about that collaboration of theatre makers. So if I'm thinking about the beginning section with the young boy at the beginning, and I'm thinking about how the sound was used, I might then start to think about the collaboration of the costume designer at that moment as well. So I'm not just being really kind of like narrow-minded with my responses. I'm broadening them slightly. So in your examples that you are kind of focus on these key moments, be thinking about the whole, not just one aspect. So in that beginning section, like the child running around, and might talk about his playful movement, his sense of freedom across the stage, but also how his levels create a sense of secrecy, and how the curtain was used and that idea of concealment. But as the curtain opened up, the sound of the bombardment of sounds created this kind of sense of fear